Numbers 32. Request of Gad and Reuben. Now the Reubenites and Gadites had a very large number of livestock. Noticing that the land of Jazer and Gilead was a place suited to livestock, the Gadites and Reubenites came to Moses and Eleazar the priest, to the leaders of the community, and said, the region of Adaroth, Jabon, Jazer, Nimrah, Heshbon, Eliah, Sebam, Nebo, and Baalmeon, the land which the Lord has laid low before the community of Israel, is a land for livestock. Your servants have livestock. They continued, if we find favor with you, let this land be given to your servants as their possession. Do not make us cross the Jordan. Moses' rebuke. But Moses answered the Gadites and Reubenites, are your kindred then to go to war while you remain here? Why do you wish to discourage the Israelites from crossing the land the Lord has given them? That is just what your ancestors did when I sent them from Kadesh Barnea to reconnoiter the land. They went up to Wadi Eshcol and reconnoitered the land, then so discouraged the Israelites that they would not enter the land the Lord had given them. At that time the anger of the Lord flared up, and he swore, none of the men 20 years old or more who have come up from Egypt will see the land I promised under the oath to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because they have not followed me unreservedly, except the Kenizzite, Caleb the son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite, Joshua son of Nun, since they have followed the Lord unreservedly. So the anger of the Lord flared against the Israelites, and he made them wander in the wilderness 40 years. And the whole generation that had done evil in the sight of the Lord had disappeared. And now, here you are, offspring of the sinful stock, rising up in your ancestors' place to add still more to the Lord's blazing anger against the Israelites. If you turn away from following him, he will again abandon them in the wilderness, and you will bring about the ruin of this entire people. Counter proposal. But they approached him and said, we will only build sheepfolds here for our flocks and towns for our families. But we ourselves will march as troops in the vanguard before the Israelites until we have led them to their destination. Meanwhile, our families will remain in the fortified towns because of the land's inhabitants. We will not return to our homes until the Israelites have taken possession of their heritage. But we will not claim any heritage with them across the Jordan and beyond, because we have received the heritage for ourselves on the eastern side of the Jordan. Agreement reached. Moses said to them in reply, if you do this, if you march as troops before the Lord into battle, and cross the Jordan in full force before the Lord until he has driven his enemies out of his way, and the land is subdued before the Lord, then you may return here, free from the obligation to the Lord and to Israel. And this land will be your possession before the Lord. But if you do not do this, you will have sinned against the Lord, and you can be sure the consequences of your sin will overtake you. Build the towns then for your families and the folds for your flocks, but fulfill what you have promised. The Gadites and Reubenites answered Moses, your servant will do as my Lord commands, while our wives and children and our livestock and other animals remain here in the town of Gilead. All your servants will go across as armed troops before the Lord's battle, just as my Lord says. So Moses gave this command to their regard to Eleazar the priest, to Joshua son of Nun, and to the heads of the ancestral houses of the Israelite tribes. He said to them, if all the Gadites and Reubenites cross the Jordan with you in full force before the Lord in battle, the land will be subdued before you, and you will give them Gilead as a possession. But if they will not go across in force with you before the Lord, you will bring their wives and children and livestock across before you into Canaan, and they will possess a holding among you in the land of Canaan." To this the Gadites and Reubenites replied, "We will do what the Lord has ordered your servants. We ourselves will go across in force before the Lord into the land of Canaan, but we will retain our hereditary property on the side of the Jordan." So Moses gave them, the Gadites and Reubenites, as well as half of the tribes of Manasseh, son of Joseph, the kingdom of Shihon, king of the Amorites, and the kingdom of Og, king of Bashan, and the land with its towns, and the districts of surrounding towns. The Gadites rebuilt the cities of Dibon, Adaroth, Aror, Arath, Shophan, Jazer, Jogbehah, Beth Nimrah, and Beth Haran, fortified cities, and sheepfolds. The Reubenites rebuilt the Heshbon, Eliah, Kirithaim, Nebo, Baalmeon, names to be changed, and Shibmah. These towns which they rebuilt they called by their old names. Other conquests. The descendants of Mishur, son of Manasseh, went to Gilead and captured it, dispossessing the Amorites who were there. Moses gave Gilead to Machir, son of Manasseh, and settled there. Jair, a descendant of Manasseh, went and captured their tents, villages, and called them Havoth Jair. Neboah went and captured Kenath, which with its dependencies, and called it Nobah, after his own name.